Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Wedding Showcase podcast. This is Eddie Cotillon, and he is with Panday Production, and he is our fashion show creative director.
Yes.
Eddie, if you can please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be a fashion show creator, directive.
I've been in the industry for about close to 35, 40 years. I got my degree from USF. I originally was a bioscience major, graduated at San Jose State, bioscience, worked as a lab technician, quit my job after 6 months, didn't like my job, went back to school. And when I went back to school, of course, with Asian parents, they're like, you're going to be a doctor or a nurse or a whatever. So they said, if you're going to pursue this, you're on your own. So I went back to school. I got accepted at USF in their arts program. And what happened was when I got accepted, I was commuting from San Jose to San Francisco to make a 9 o'clock class.
That's a long way.
It was a long way. And what happened was when I started doing that, I couldn't afford to go to USF. And it was connected with a school called the Art Academy in San Francisco, which was not accredited. So I wanted an accredited degree, which I had to go to USF for. After graduating from USF, I got hired at an ad agency as a photographer.
Okay.
And ended up in LA working at a studio, and I got hired at a model and talent agency on the side to help develop their new faces, you can say, at the agency. And one of our new faces back then, because they had commercials and talent and what have you, and they wanted a fashion division, so they had me start their fashion division. And one of our first models was Angelina Jolie.
Oh, wow.
And that's a long story. So I got to help a lot of models' careers in the industry. And from then on, I said, I think I want to open a model and talent agency. Head back to the Bay Area, 1996, opened a model and talent agency. We had it till 2004. And I got to meet with a lot of the top designers in the industry, supplying models and talents for Saks Fifth Avenue, Macy's, and couture designers. And when the agency got sold, they assumed I was a creative director for fashion shows. And I got hired. My first job was to do a benefit show in San Jose. And it was a huge success. It was for the community. And from then on, it snowballed.
And you just went from there, huh?
And I went from there and I started doing Fashion Week, working directly with top designers. And also and that's when I got introduced to the wedding fair shows in Santa Clara County. And I did that for over 12 years, which ends me here with you.
Yeah. And we're so happy to have you. Eddie also, he was a fashion show director for our last show at Cal Expo last year, and he's going to be our fashion show creative director again this year at Safe Credit Union. We have our wedding showcase on February 2nd, so we are so looking forward to it. In fact, we went by the venue today, and we hashed out a lot of the logistics of things, and so we're really looking forward to having Eddie put on a great fashion show for us again this year.
Gorgeous venue.
Yes,
Gorgeous.
It's a very nice venue. We're really happy to be there. So why don't you, if you could, tell us a little bit about curating a wedding fashion show, what you love the most about it.
Working with the kids, I see a lot because my background with working with model and talent agencies and working with the new faces in the industry. In fact, one of the girls who's doing the show again this year, they're excited to do the show. This is a great experience for them. She just got signed with a major agency in New York. She just came back from Paris and she was in Rome modeling. And she goes, it helped me get my start by doing these shows, working with the public. So we're going to see half of the models. We're going to see a lot of new faces. In fact, there's an outfit in Santa Rosa called the Julie Nation Academy.
Yes.
And I come in there and I also teach workshops for them and help introduce their models and their talent in the industry. So they're excited. We have one more casting coming up this Saturday. So I have a lineup of models that we're going to see. I think it's the kids, working with the kids. And it's like over the years, I've seen them even to the point where They're married now. In fact, I have a crazy story. In fact, one of the shows we had in Santa Clara County, I would have the male models do it like a dance, and I would tell them to look at the audience and find someone that you can flirt to.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the guys goes, okay, I can do that. So he goes on stage and he does his routine and he flirts with this one girl and caught her eye. She ends up hunting him down after the show. And he calls me up. He goes, I went on a date. I go, you did? With who? And he goes, I met the girl at the bridal show.
Wow.
And I go, oh, that's interesting. And he goes, we started dating. And he called me years later. They ended up getting married.
Oh, wow. What a perfect love story, huh?
I know, right?
And you introduced them by telling him to flirt with somebody
With
in the
somebody in
audience.
the audience.
That's great. That's a great story. That's a great love story. How would you describe your curation process? How do you get the ball rolling? What do you start with?
I think for the bridal shows, it's what's the market.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really what I think. I need to find out what is the trend that's happening. What's the best selling dresses or line of clothing, because they vary from store to store. What's coming up for spring 2025 is a lot of lace.
A lot of lace, huh? Lace
A
is
lot
back.
of lace is, yes, you're going to see a lot of lace out there. And it's almost the style of that boho, but still, I think there's a trend coming up for more glamour.
So boho.
Glam, yes. Even with the men, their tuxedos are no longer traditional. If you see what's happening on the red carpet right now, it's not your traditional black tie. You'll see a few of them, but then it's more, wow, that's amazing. The men are getting more dressed up.
Okay.
More accessories. You'll see them even wear more jewelry, hats.
Hats even.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. You're saying, so what about like bows and bold colors? Are those out or are those coming back?
You're seeing a
Yeah.
lot of more of the nude tones.
Nude.
Nude.
Okay.
More nude tones, very subtle, but it's almost that 50s glamour Hollywood.
Okay. Okay.
And I see the styling more on the women's faces is more of that 50s glamour. You're going to see a lot of red lips.
Okay.
So the
red
glamour
lips.
is back.
Glam is good. I like
Yes.
glam. Glam is
Yes.
beautiful. So what about, like, I know for a while the wedding parties were like going with mismatched dresses, like the same
Yes.
tone, but different. Is that still in?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
In fact, you're going to even see more of the shorter gowns.
Shorter dresses.
Short and then long train.
Okay, so short in the front and then
Yes.
longer in the back.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you're seeing that on the red carpet. And
Yeah.
again, the trends comes in from Europe. It's what's happening in Europe, and we'll get the end of it. So by spring 2025, because of Fashion Week just happened in Europe, you're going to see that trend happening here. It's a slow trend for us because we get it last. But at the same time, I get to see fashion forecast-wise what's coming in, even
Yes.
with the colors.
You said the nude colors are coming in.
Nude,
The
yes.
nude palette.
Nude, peach.
And what about like the wedding gowns? What colors are those coming?
The last trend is the black gowns,
Uh-huh.
which was even the black lace. You're still going to see that, but not as much. You're going to see a lot of lace.
A lot of lace.
A lot
huh?
of lace.
What about, you were mentioning earlier something that metallics are coming in?
Metallics. I've been seeing even metallics intertwined with the gown. It's not my cup of tea, but for those people that want something different.
Now, are those in the wedding gowns or in the wedding party or both?
Both.
Okay. I would like to see what a dress with metallic in it. Maybe we'll have some at the fashion show?
We'll see. We'll see. In fact, we're still getting confirmation for David's Bridal.
Uh-huh.
And they have a wide selection. I know they carry Vera Wang there.
Mm-hmm.
And she's had amazing gowns.
Yeah. Yeah, we hope that David's Bridal will be back. It'd
Mm-hmm.
be nice to have them because they have a great assortment of gowns. And then, of course, we're hoping for Tuxedo, Dan, because they have the best menswear.
Yes, yes. Jonathan at Tuxedo Den, he selects his tuxedos that are one of a kind.
Yes.
I love working with him because his suits and his tuxedos, they just stand out. And it makes the event more special when you see something different.
Yeah.
Because people want something different right now.
Yeah, they don't want the same old, same old. Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually went to a destination wedding in Mexico the end of October, and she got her gown at David's Bridal,
Okay.
And I'm sorry, no, she did not. She got her bridesmaids' dresses were at David's Bridal, and then her spouse went to Tuxedo Den, and the little ring bearer also got Tuxedo Den. So yeah,
nice.
so we really loved their assortment of gowns and tuxedos.
I think I saw that on Facebook. He posted it on Facebook. Jonathan
Probably.
did. Yes.
Yes.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was very nice, very nice. So, what about you said we're going back to the 50s glam, so I'm guessing pearls are going to be in
Pearls,
now?
yes, definitely.
So that
Pearls and lace, lots of lace. I've been seeing also with the men going with the hats.
to like the old style.
Yeah, it's like the top hat. So it's glam. Glam is back.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like glam. Glam is beautiful. I know there for a while they were doing convertible dresses where I guess it's a long gown and then you can change it into something else. Is that still on trend?
That I haven't seen. I haven't seen lately. Before, yes. That was a hot collection even for the designers in Fashion Week. Where one dress can convert from a long gown to a short gown. But I really haven't seen that
So we'll have to look and
up.
see if it's gone or maybe it went out for a bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. What about like bridal jumpsuits and pantsuits? Is that something that's a go?
It depends on what part of the country.
Okay.
Because you're going to see that a lot more in Southern California, the Hollywood.
Really?
It's trendy. It's not typical. What's her name again? The wife. In fact, I know she's come out with her own collection of jumpsuits.
Okay.
So how would you put it? It's more of a West Coast thing.
Okay. West Coast. That's interesting. Interesting. So you were saying that the men's fashion is expanding beyond just the traditional black and white suits. So what kind of colors and fabrics are we going to look forward to on the runway?
It's a look at the red carpet. Because the stylist on the red carpet looks for the trends that are happening. And you'll see even the designers that are designing men's clothing with silks, the creams, again, a lot of accessories, a lot of jewelry. So you might be seeing that on our runway also.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Yes.
So what kind of accessories are you talking about? Like,
Instead of a tie, a brooch. Remember the chains they used to have in the 50s? A stylized chain on a suit. In fact, I'll send you a picture. We just shot one of the young men from, I think it was Tuxedo Warehouse, and these are the trends for 2025. And it's not your traditional tuxedos anymore. It's almost like a zoot suit, but modern.
ooh, nice.
Yes.
That sounds really interesting. So, what about, like you said, what about where is that still in, or did that go out? Like there was like some floral crowns, headdresses.
That's
floral
that
jewelry.
boho type look, but I think they're going to add more to it. You're going to see more of the updos. Before it was like hair down
Yeah.
and curls, right? You're going to see more updos, a French twist in the girl's hair, more of a Alexis Carrington.
So are you going to see like those little veils that have the little netting that just comes over the,
I wish. That's a
so-
great style.
isn't it?
Yeah, there's a designer that I've worked with in Napa. Her name is Karen Caldwell, and she designs, her line is various 50s. And she has vintage gowns that she collects and buys and remakes. And I do her shows. In fact, we just did an editorial spread on her. And she was so inspired by Hollywood glam again. Because back in the day, her mother and her grandmother used to work together with Edith Head. They did the clothing for the films back in the day. And so her style growing up as a child was that. And she's brought that back, but modernized it.
Nice. So do you think that the gowns will be like more fitted then instead of flared out?
Yes, more fishtail, more, again, lace. The lace it's like a lace on lace, but it's almost like that 20s look.
That's such a fabulous look too.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Yeah,
With
I
red
love-
lips and high brows.
I love that. Yeah. Going back to the floral jewelry, do you think that they'll be wearing like floral rings and earrings, bracelets, or do you think that's
I think the accessories are going to be simplified.
simplified?
Yeah, the jewelry is going to be the gown. You don't need much accessories. Now for the men, it's the opposite. It's like you're going to see the chains, you're going to see the brooches, you're going to see the pins, you're going to see the top hats.
Uh-huh. So the women are going more simplified on the accessories because the dress is
The
going to
dress,
be the
accessories, the dress.
yeah, and where the men are going to be more dressing up with the accessories.
Yes,
Okay, a little more bling for the men. That's
exactly.
nice. That's nice. They can do something different than the same old.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, what tuxedo trend or type? What is your ideal? What do you like to see?
Mix match.
Mix match. When you say mix match, what do you mean by that?
Not your traditional all one tone color.
Okay.
A nice fitted tuxedo pants with a different color jacket, even a different color vest.
Okay.
So it's very stylized.
Yeah.
In a way, it's stylized to the character or the person wearing it. And that's what I like about Tuxedo Den. He will.
Yeah, because they sit and talk with you, and they can get a feel for who you are.
What's your style? What do you like
Yeah.
to? What's your colors you like to wear? And then they even go to the point where even the color shoes you wear, not the same tone, but it fits that whole era, that 50s, where men dressed up in top hats and they wear the
Yeah.
fedora. And
I even remember back in the 90s, like people, when they went to the movie theaters, they would get dressed up.
yes,
And now it's like we're more relaxed now. So I think it's really nice to see
Yes.
people getting dressed up again.
I
you
do
know?
too. I like that. I like that look.
I do too. I do too. So you were talking about, so they're going to have nice lapels, and what about pocket cards?
Yes, definitely. In fact, one of the suits we just finished photographing, I looked at the color they used even in the pocket lapels were reversible. And they flipped it over. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. That's different. So depending how you feel, or you know how sometimes some weddings, a bride in certain cultures will change like 3 or 4
Yes.
times. Like in the Vietnamese weddings, they would change several times. But then there's a trend of even changing even with the men, which is great. So you would wear a certain color for the wedding, then you would wear a different color for the reception. So there's even a change of that, even with the men, what they're wearing.
So you're seeing that more with the men now than with.
Yes, because now they're not just selling the one suit to rent. And this is what you're going to wear afterwards for the reception. And this is what you're going to wear when you do your final photo shoot leaving. So
Okay.
it's like an editorial shoot now for a wedding.
Now, do you think that the woman will be changing her gown too several times?
That would be amazing. I know I see that traditionally in
Yeah.
traditional weddings, but that's amazing to have a short gown after the wedding.
Or even during the dancing.
Oh, yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, because sometimes the long dress can get in the way. You don't want to trip if you want to get out there and cut a rug.
Yeah.
You might want that shorter dress.
Exactly.
What about, you're talking about the hats coming back for the men. Do you think that they'll be floral around the brim, or just going back to the
No,
old?
your tradition. I think it's more your traditional
the traditional.
fedora, your top hats. Very.
And what
classic
colors do you think
style.
those will be?
There's in different colors. In fact, I know for a fact that even with Tuxedo Den, he will match it to whatever color because of the vendors that he works with. And he will match even the shoes to the hats, to the suits, which is amazing, which I haven't really seen till now, which was pretty special for Sacramento
Yeah.
to have that. Because his type of store reminds you of the stores that you have down in Los Angeles, even for Hollywood. And to have that here is really special.
Yes.
Not to put down the other tuxedo companies, but he's more specialized.
Yes. Yeah. He sits down and he listens. He understands your style and your vision.
Yes.
You
When
know-
you go into a store, in fact, in Sacramento, when you go into a store, you can tell it's not your traditional tuxedo store.
Yeah. It's more of a boutique.
It is a boutique, men's boutique.
Yes, a men's boutique. That's right. So, what tips can you give for brides and the bridal party in regards to their bridal bouquets? I know there for a while we were using those great big bouquets,
Yes.
which were beautiful,
And they're heavy.
but very heavy.
They're really heavy, yes.
So what kind of advice, where are we going with that on trend? Are we going back to the smaller ones?
Simplify, yes.
Simplify.
More simplified, more sparse, but it's like the trend is less is more.
Yes, because the dress is what's on showcase.
Exactly.
And what color florals are you seeing?
Well,
And bouquets and stuff.
again, to match the mauve tone, I think it depends on the bride's preference for colors, but it's toned down. Again, you want the bride to stand out. I've even seen brides with just one flower,
Okay.
but it's simplified to the point where it's stylized. It's simple, but it's classic.
I think that'd be really beautiful, like you said, with the old 20s look, the hair swooped back, the updo, the nice bright red lips, and the pretty lace dress. And yeah, just walking down with that rose or lily, whatever
Or a
it is.
lily, yes.
That'd be beautiful.
Yeah, I know there was one of the wedding shows that we had, and the bouquet was at least, it felt like it was 10 pounds. The thing was heavy. I'm like, you are not going to throw this.
Yeah.
You're going to knock someone out with this bouquet. And they're pretty heavy.
Yeah. I know when my daughter got married, she wanted the great big bouquet because it was beautiful, of course. And then once she got it, it was so heavy. She's like, I can't even hardly hold it. I felt sorry for my maid of honor because you hand off your bouquet to her. She had a bouquet too, which was probably not as big, but almost as big. So she's like trying to juggle two bouquets. So I think it's nice to see that the more simplified's coming in.
Yes.
Be nice. But I guess you still have to have a smaller bouquet to toss, I would imagine.
Yes.
Because you can't just throw a single flower. It wouldn't go anywhere. What are your recommendations for couples choosing their music for their wedding, for their first dance? What do you like to see, like a DJ, a solo guitarist?
Live DJ is always fun. You want your party to have fun and have a memorable experience. We had one of the bridal shows that we did. The trend was, and you'll see this on YouTube, where the wedding party will have a choreographed routine.
Yes.
And so one of the bridal shows, instead of having a fashion show, it felt like the actual party after the show.
Oh, nice.
Where we announced the ushers and their bridesmaid, and then they came into the center of a dance floor as a show. And then we had the confetti cannons going off, and then we had a live band playing backstage. So people got to see how their wedding would look like if they would hire these vendors.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And we had a dance routine for the bride and groom. It was hilarious. In fact, that's what I incorporated this past year. We did a Disney theme to music, and they danced to that. And so it entertained not just for the wedding, but for your wedding party. So it was a show. So I hope to do that again this year.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, hopefully working with Spotlight Ballroom.
Yes. Hopefully we get Spotlight on board.
Yes.
Like they were last year. They were a great asset to the team last year at the fashion show.
Yes, people were really entertained.
Yeah, yeah. And even at their booth, they also did some dancing at their booth as well. It was pretty nice. Yeah. So what about preparing for their first dance together, the bride and the groom, or the bride and the groom?
Take dance lessons.
Take dance.
Yeah. Spotlight. It makes it more memorable.
Yeah.
And that's what you see the trend even on YouTube. I mean, just go on YouTube and put bridal party dance, bridal party choreographed routine, and it's all over the world.
Yeah.
And I started even incorporating dance in fashion shows.
Yeah.
Where we would have the show itself, and our intermission would be a dance routine, and it would catch people's eyes. And they're like, wow, this is amazing. So people are now entertained. So it's more of an entertainment value of dance. And if you take lessons even more, that would be great for your show. And it's a surprise for your guests. Oh my God, where did you learn to dance?
Yeah, and then you won't have those jitters either I got to have my first dance. I can't even dance good. This way you get all that out of the way and you're confident and you get out there and have a good time with your spouse. Perfect, perfect. So what advice do you have for the engaged couples that's planning their wedding festivities?
Plan.
How far in advance do you think they should start planning?
Like, for instance, when I do a show, for instance, one of the companies I worked for was the Arthritis Foundation, and we would start planning a year in advance. 2 years in, you had your venue. And it's almost like planning a wedding. You have your venue, and from your venue, after you get the venue, that's the toughest thing. Start with your venue.
Yeah.
From your venue, work your way down. Go into, okay, I know what gown I would like to have and the colors and what have you, and then get your vendors after that. But the number one thing is get your venue first.
Yeah.
Because that's the big headache.
That's great advice.
Yes.
Because once that's out of the way, then you can everything kind of trickles into it. Yeah, perfect. What advice do you have for them in general? Should we have a honeymoon? Should we invite this person? What do you have? What's your advice for those types of
It's
things?
interesting because some young couples, I've been noticing, have been cutting their costs down by having a simplified wedding and saving on their honeymoon to buy a house, which makes sense. California, it's like our cost of living and our real estate out here is phenomenal. It's ridiculous. In fact, my nephew just got married a few years ago, and he had a small wedding. After the wedding, he decided, they said, we're not going to go on a honeymoon. I'm like, why not? And he goes, because we're going to save it to buy a house. So the parents ended up giving them money to help them with the down payment of the house. And it worked perfectly.
Nice.
So I think economically for California, and I'm just speaking about California, give your money. Some of it could cost, even for a whole wedding, $75,000, $100,000 people are spending.
Yeah. Yep, they are. Let's get back to fashion show.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us, maybe you can give us a little bit of a sneak peek of maybe what our brides and grooms could look forward to at the wedding showcase as far as a fashion show.
You're going to see a lot of fun on the stage. You'll see different sizes. But for the fashion show itself, I want people to be entertained and envision themselves in these gowns. We'll have your model type models, but at the same time, we'll have models that represent middle America, how would you say? For instance, one of my clients, and I can't mention their name, whenever I used to do fashion shows for Fashion Week, there would be a certain size. When a designer makes a size for the clothing, it would be a sample size. And so I used to supply models for the designers and for the shows, and the sample sizes are usually 2/4. So I asked this one vendor, what is your market? What is your market that you sell the most sizes in? And my first thought was size 2/4. And she goes, oh no, our number one market is size 14, 16, because that's middle America. And I said, that makes sense. So I want to see that on the runway. I want people to come in and see, that could be me.
See themselves
In those gowns. So you're going to see that on the runway as well. And we have 2 adorable kids. We have that one young man, I think his name is Emmanuel. He's coming back for the show.
Oh, nice.
I think we have a new girl coming in for the show. And this is her first show. So she's working her butterflies out.
How cute. So what about for men? Fashion show?
You're seeing a wide range. In fact, we're going to have, because one of the big trends right now you see in the reality shows is the bachelor and bachelorette. So we have a senior bachelor.
Did you call him the Golden Bachelor?
Golden Bachelor. I thought that was a trademark, right?
It's yours, right?
Yeah. So he's excited. In fact, I'm seeing him this weekend. We're going to be going through a quick training on the runway. And hopefully we can get them to dance on the runway.
So will there be a golden bride too, or just a golden bachelor?
Yes.
Okay. Or
Yes.
golden bachelorette, I guess I should say.
In fact, this one of my clients, she had asked me, it was interesting. She had asked me, she goes, Eddie, it's been my dream to model. And she's not very tall. Mm-hmm. She's shorter. And she goes, it's always been my dream to model. And she goes, can I take classes with you? Just to learn how to walk the runway. This would be her 3rd show. I just put her in 2 shows, and she loves it. I said, I have a show for you that you'll be perfect for. So she's coming in from New York.
Wow.
And she's going to be in the show. She's so excited. And she's going to be my match for the We'll see. They're both single. They might get
Oh,
married.
you might have another match, huh?
Exactly.
Be responsible for another match at the wedding showcase. Perfect. Eddie, it's been a pleasure having you on
My
the show, and I
pleasure.
can't wait to see the fashion show at our wedding showcase on
Yes.
February 2nd at Safe Credit Union Convention Center. And again, we are so happy to have you on board. Thanks so much. I just want to thank all of our sponsors from our 2024 show, which was our diamond sponsor is Lush Balloons. They did a fantastic decorating job for us. And then our media sponsor, Real Weddings Magazine. You can see our ads in their magazine. And then our grand prize sponsor was Retreat Salon and Spa. And if you want a nice massage or facial, please look them up. They do a wonderful job. Our fashion show sponsors, which is Carriage House Flower Farms, and they supplied all the florals for us, so which were absolutely beautiful. And then Our Place Event Space and Kitchen, and they supplied the food to our models to keep them energized. And then our VIP sponsors was Petite Events Company and Adoboink and White Moon Rustics. And then I also want to thank our fashion show creative director, which was Eddie, who was just on the show, and he is with Panday Productions. And then the models were supplied by Julie Nation Academy. And the dance choreography was Spotlight Ballroom Dance. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Again, our next wedding showcase will be at Safe Credit Union Convention Center on February 2nd, and we will have early access for our VIP guests, and they will come in a half hour early and they can stay an hour later. So they will also get a great swag bag with lots of nice little goodies inside, and also a free alcoholic beverage on us that everybody that comes in as a VIP sponsor will have that as well. So hopefully you will upgrade your ticket to VIP, where you'll get early and late access, a complimentary beverage, your exclusive swag bag, VIP only perks. You will participate in exclusive raffles and giveaways. And then, of course, the unmatched luxury. Immerse yourself in the day of luxury at our VIP event. And we hope to see you all on February 2nd. Thanks a lot.